Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, this is a new setup that I'm giving a try. So just leave a comment below to see how you like it. I hope everyone is staying safe in this pandemic. And unfortunately, today is another day that we hit a milestone, and a terrible one at that, where the United States coronavirus deaths has surpassed 10,000. And because of this uncertainty and because no one really knows how long this pandemic is going to last, the White House recently released a figure, I believe, of 100,000 possible deaths in the United States. So I hope everyone is staying safe and doing your part in socially distancing yourself so we can flatten the curve. But because of this pandemic, as you can see, we have been in the midst of a market sell-off and we're currently in a bear market. And even though we have gotten this rally, a lot of investors are uncertain because they don't know if this rally is going to continue, like it did today on March 6th, where the market went up 7%. But we've seen days where the market go up 10%, but then next day it goes down 10%, 12%. So because we are just unsure of how we're going to do, a lot of people have been hesitant to return back into the stock market. But whenever we end up in a bear market and we might feel like it's never going to improve, we have to look back in history and realize that the S&P 500 has periods where it went down substantially, like in the tech bubble, 2008 housing crash, and currently the pandemic that's happening right now. Even though the market sell-off has been really quick and really substantial, over the long run, the market is going to go up, as you can see. And if we need any proof of how to trade and how to invest in these hard times, the best way is to look at people who have successfully invested, the billionaires who are currently in the market. In this video, I'm going to showcase 5 different billionaires who are currently actively trading into this bear market, and hopefully it reminds you that bear markets, or when markets are down substantially, these are the best times for us to deploy our money, because we're basically buying stocks of valuable companies on sale. So the first 2 billionaires, they don't really let us know what stocks they're investing in specifically, but the remaining 3 billionaires, they are going to let us know what they're specifically buying into. And you might have seen this article on the Business Finance News, but these are just 5 that I wanted to highlight. So the first billionaire's name is Mark Lassie, and he's gone on to say that this stock plunge is a massive buying opportunity, which is very true, because once again, stocks are like almost 30%, 40%, or even 50% off their February highs. So if you are able to, I would highly recommend jumping into the stock market to deploy your cash, because this is the best time to buy. This is the first billionaire, and he doesn't really let us know what he's buying into. As you can see from here, the Avenue Capital co-founder said that he sees the Wall Street's more than 20% drop from last month's record high as a massive buying opportunity. Mark Lassie, he's currently worth $1.8 billion. I'm sure the market plunge recently has reduced his net worth substantially, but to hear him say that he's still positive and he's still putting money into the market goes to show that billionaires aren't afraid to put in the money when everyone is taking their money out. As you probably heard, be greedy when everyone is fearful, and fearful when everyone is greedy. So by putting his money in when everyone is leaving, he's able to pick up companies at substantial discounts. And even in this paragraph, his biography, it says, Mark Lassie, who made a fortune buying up troubled asset. That's the key part. Buying up troubled assets. When people are going away from certain companies, those are the times when you buy into them, because the stock market's long-term trajectory is going to be up, and if you buy quality companies at discount prices, you're going to be able to grow your wealth more substantially. So that is the first billionaire. The second billionaire name is Sam Zell, and he's also buying into some ridiculous low stocks in these wild market swings. And similarly, he also made his fortune scooping up distressed assets. And as you can see, this will be the key point that you'll come across over and over again when you read about what billionaires are doing. They strategically look at the stock market, and if they feel like that the companies that they're investing in are still valuable and will be valuable in the future, they put their money in when everyone is selling. And for reference, Sam Zell has $5 billion, and like I'm saying, I'm sure he lost a lot of money in this market sell-off, but he's still putting the money in so he can grow that money into more wealth to the future. And the third billionaire that we're going to talk about, his name is Carl Icahn, and he currently has a net worth of about $13.5 billion. As you can see from this paragraph, he argues that the recent market sell-off presents investors with unique buying opportunities. And he's quoted here saying that some of these companies are awfully cheap. They're very cheap. And he has been buying into two specific companies mentioned here. The first one is Hertz Global Holding. Even though Hertz has plunged almost 50%, he recently purchased 11.4 million shares, basically saying that he still believes in the company. And he's an activist investor, which basically means he buys up lots of shares in the companies so he can influence the way that the company ends up conducting business. The second company that Carl Icahn is investing in is Newell Brands. Ticker symbol here is NWL. And they have well-known brands like Sharpie, Coleman, Rubbermaid, and the Crock-Pot. And even though, once again, like other stocks, Newell Brands have fell 34%, but Carl Icahn is still deploying massive amounts of money. Between March 9th to March 11th, he bought almost 2.6 million shares, making him 10.7% owner of the company. As next billionaire, Mark Cuban, I'm sure a lot of people are more aware of because he's one of the judges in that show Shark Tank, and he's also the vocal owner of the Dallas Mavericks. And he has recently been adding to his Twitter stakes. As you can see, he's quoted saying, "I bought some Twitter today. I'm a long-term holder. I own shares going into this decline. I don't know what's going to happen or when, but I think long-term will be okay." So as you can see, a lot of billionaires have basically been buying into their existing shares or have been building new shares in different companies that they have found value in. And Mark Cuban is no different. And because of this pandemic, a lot of people aren't advertising their business. Twitter, which earns a lot of their revenues from advertisement, just like Facebook and Google, those businesses will be hurt short term. But after the pandemic overs or when there is signs of recovery, a lot of businesses will have more expendable cash and they'll be deploying more money to market and get more customers through the door. So when that time comes, Twitter shares going to naturally go up as they make more money. Same with Facebook and Google. Mark Cuban also said this important thing that I believe we all should remember. He said, "I'm just as concerned and confused and uncertain as everyone. I'm a long-term bull in terms of our country, and at some point the market will be higher. I just don't know when." So investing, we all like to think that we can time the market, and we all think that, oh, when the market hit the bottom on March 23rd, that's when I'll invest. But even the billionaires, they don't know when the market's going to recover. So rather than guessing and not deploying your money and missing this rally that's currently happening, it's best to just put in the money by dollar cost averaging. Once again, dollar cost averaging is not putting all your money in at once, but deciding, in the course of every week or every month, putting in money so you can buy stocks when they're cheap, but also when they're high. So in the end, it averages out. Now going back, like I mentioned, he also bought shares in Live Nation. As he says in the rest of the article, if you are an investor, try not to think too short term because this pandemic, however horrible it's going to end, and companies are going to start earning money. The United States economy and the global economy is going to recover from this. It's best to remain level-headed and to deploy money, whatever money you have to invest, so you can end up benefiting when the market eventually returns to their all-time highs. Mark Cuban, as you can see, has $4.3 billion, but this final billionaire that we're going to talk about, it's basically the richest of them all, and you might have guessed he's Warren Buffett. In my last video, you might remember that I said his net worth was about $86 billion, so his net worth has gone substantially down, $71.5 billion, which is still a lot of money. But let's see what kind of companies he's investing into. If you have seen my previous video, you would know that Warren Buffett, he's the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, and they've been recently buying a lot of shares in Delta Airlines. He's purchased almost 1 million shares of Delta Airline at an average cost of $46.40. Now here's the thing, just like I mentioned that billionaires don't know when the market is going to hit the bottom, but if you look at today's Delta Airlines price, is currently at $22.32, which basically shows that even the great Warren Buffett doesn't know which direction the stock price is going to go. You might buy into a stock and then it goes down, or you might buy into a stock and then the next day it goes up 10% or 20%. Because we don't know where the stock market is going to be, the best thing is to put in your money when you can or when you think that you're going to get a good deal. Because let's face it, if Delta Airlines stock go back to $60 or $50, does it really matter if you bought the stock at $20, $30 or $40? In the end, you're going to get some great returns. So don't try to time the market. Remember, not even the great Warren Buffett can do that. You might be lucky once in a while, but it's best to just buy companies that you believe in and that you think is going to live through this pandemic and end up more prosperous. And in the future, when there's more bear markets that we're going to encounter, continuously research companies that you think will be a great hold and just keep on buying into them. So there you have it, 5 billionaires buying into this bear market. And I have seen more subscribers, so thank you so much for subscribing. And this channel is going to be dedicated to stock market news that I find interesting, and eventually I'll be showcasing more of what I like to invest in and the companies that I invest and the progress that I have been making within my investment portfolio. And for a couple of years I have been using M1 Finance to invest into the stock market. So if you want to get started on your investing journey, check out my referral links below for M1 Finance. I also have one for Robinhood and Webull. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos, like and leave a comment. Stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Alright guys, bye.